such an asshole.
Oh, you're probably doubting Thomas's thinking that the internet's going to conk out on me. Nope, we figured it out. I knew it. I said, check the antenna. How many people are pulling data off of it? Oh, there's an IP configuration problem. No kidding. It wasn't a ghost. It wasn't a lightning. Atham thinks my property is haunted, which it is not. There's no such thing. Atham. So, all right, we got a request. If you have a request, you can always go to assholeconsulting.com. Blah, blah, blah. We have a serious request, and in no way, and I'm being serious about it. A lot of people say, in no way do we advocate violence. And then they advocate violence. No, and you're going to find out why later on. Why it's like, look, I understand. I understand the desire for vengeance and revenge. I do. I understand anger. Oh, Cappy understands anger. But it goes back to that karma thing. Once I figured out how karma worked, I was like, oh, I don't have to do any of this. I don't have to commit no crime. I don't have to do a dubiously unethical act. I don't have to risk going to jail. And there's no death by cop, if you know what I'm saying. So let's go through this because no doubt lots of men are in this situation. I'm going to paint a better path for you, but I'm going to also answer this guy's philosophical question, which I have an answer, but I don't know if it's true or not. Dear Cappy, I will be more than understanding if this is something that will be too controversial for you to cover. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of stories of men having their lives ruined by the family court system. No, there are millions. Millions. And many of them have ended themselves. What I wonder about is if they are at a point where they are considering offing themselves, why don't they instead try to claim some form of retribution? If you are at a point where you're considering ending your life as an option, you shouldn't fear death or any consequences. You're right. I've talked about this as a case against self-deletion. Citing the story, many of you probably heard it, about the guy who was going to end himself. And he was going to go out with a bang first. So he got all of his money. He went down to Mexico, got himself a bunch of drugs and horse. And then he realized, well, after the drugs and horse, life ain't too bad. And he chose to live. And I'm not saying that that's got to be the solution to everything. It's not bad, but this is a question that you obviously have, and a question I always have. It's like, look, if you're really going to end it, then every option is on the table. So why not take out a loan and go travel around the globe? Why not? Usually finances are your number one problem. I'm not advocating this, but academically, theoretically speaking, well, why not bump off a bank? Preferably Chase Manhattan's one of the banks that took bailout money. Don't rob the mom and pop bank. Don't put anyone in danger. But why not? What? Oh, you got to throw me? Oh, I was gonna end it tomorrow anyway. And I've said it puts you in God mode. Like you could do whatever you want. Now, arguably, I'd say do something good. All right, go down to Mexico. Go get the hues. Go do some drugs. And says, well, you really shouldn't do drugs. Well, he's gonna die anyway. Eat ice cream. Go roller skating. Do whatever you want. Go have some fun. And then hopefully, maybe like the guy went down to Mexico, you find a reason to live. However, you bring up like, okay, God mode, there's no consequences. And I have also asked that question, like, why aren't there more Elliot Rodgers? Why aren't there because obviously somebody did you wrong, right? Someone really did you wrong. If you're in this, I'm like, why don't you hear more bad things, acts of violence, retributive, violence, acts of revenge? Why don't you see that more? I know you would argue against this line of thought for religious reasons, but according to most religions, you're going to burn in hell anyway for self-deletion. So I doubt it will get any worse. Maybe I've watched too many movies, but the one thing I've always believed is there's nothing more dangerous than an enemy who has nothing to lose. Would like a video response. So here's the only reason, because your line of logic is similar to mine. I would have thought, man, what? This happened to this guy and he didn't lose it. And having been in bad situations myself, not as bad as that where I've contemplated self-deletion, but where it's like, boy, this pain would go away if the brain wasn't around here to take it. But I look at Terrence Popp. Go watch Terrence Popp's first video, um, where it's him debating. That's how him and Blake met. And being in bad situations, not necessarily related to marriage or anything like that, but when I had my cancer scare and all that, just being poor, having absolute nothing go your way, you're exhausted. And to go on a spree of revenge or commit a spree of violence, that takes effort and energy. And for different reasons, different path I took, not intentionally. When you're that down, you don't have the energy. You just don't. When you are actually clinically depressed, and now we even have to qualify that phrase, clinically depressed, because right now every psychologist, oh my God, you're clinically depressed. Here's some antidepressants. No, I mean, I have a buddy of mine who was clinically depressed, and he was telling me, like, you don't shower. You don't need to see, oh, I'm depressed, but you still go out and have martini hour with the girls and go on the Instagram and the Twitter chats and whatever and that attention right up. Oh, I'm depressed. Yeah, but you still play video games and you go out and you do someone. No, like you don't get out of bed. You don't shower. You don't eat. And I think that people or men in this particular case that have been driven to that level of destitution, defeat, they don't have energy to go and hunt down, no matter how well deserved, no matter um, how right it may be. I'm not saying legal, I'm saying ethically right to get revenge. I think when you have lost your family or you lost your wife or you lost love, you lost everything that's most important to you, you just don't have the energy anymore. Well, I'm going to get the guys that took it from me. And you could see that in Pop's video. And that's why I don't think you see that many, thank God, where Elliot Rodgers is the exception, not the rule. And even there, I'm no therapist, but neither are the therapists or psychologists because your field is all bullshit. Sorry, you guys are just frauds. Please leave. I almost said something that would have almost said something. But I'd imagine these crazed people who commit acts of violence upon an innocent population, um, they are, what would I say? They still have the energy to do it. They're not doing it because they're really sad. They're doing it for grandiose, selfish, very obviously, ultimately selfish when you think, I'm just going to take people's lives because that'll make me feel good. I think those are a different type of people. Like they're not cripplingly depressed. Think of the guy in the Madeline Bay over in Vegas. That guy had to go through a lot of planning. A lot of planning. It takes a lot of work. And so I think he was, or the Ted Kaczynski guy, he was ideologically driven. He didn't not have a point and purpose in life. He had a point and purpose. It was wrong. It was sick. It was evil. But it was all ultimately ego driven. He wanted to prove to the world that he was right. Elliot Rodgers wanted to prove to the world he was right. He still cared. I think when you get your family, especially your children, taken away from you, you got nothing in the tank. And you are literally, and that then you just like forget it. I'm not even gonna bother getting up out of bed. Like it's too far to drive to go hunt the guy down or whoever the hell it was that caused the injustice. You just don't have that energy. And so I think that's why you don't see it as much. And so the movie Falling Down, I could see people going postal. Dude, I had to go to anger management several times this week because the damn internet wasn't working. Now we got to figure it out. And oh yeah, and once you get your fuse shortened, you're trying to keep it together, and it's Sturgis. So every cocksucking wannabe biker baby boomer, it's my bucket list banker baby boomers. I've only seen 3 bikes tipped so far, and we're not even a full 24 hours into the rally. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Cappy wanted to pull over. Yeah, well, it's a daily thing where Cappy not going to, not advocating, but boy, it'd be great to ram Grandma off the road. She's slowing me down by 10, 15 seconds. So, but we don't do that. That's wrong. You end up in a cage for the rest of your life. But for those of you who are seeking vengeance, whether or not you're completely depleted and demoralized, and for those of you who, well, those people are psychotic, so I don't think there's any reasoning with the other. Let's just say those of you who are thinking about getting revenge on someone, could just be road rage, something like that. That's how you're going to exact your total revenge. You're going to yell at someone at the supermarket or all that. Or you're contemplating, well, before I delete myself, I'm going to pull a John Greasy and take 7 bad guys. That'll show them. Let me explain to you what has helped me with anger management, as well as stoicism and all that. Guys, karma is real. And it is not this bullshit your single mom told, well, those nasty bullies who take you on 3-1 and are twice yours, they'll get theirs in the end. It's like, can you pull me out of the fucking school? Well, what did you do? All right. Don't worry, they'll get theirs in it. No. That's just people saying things for you to go away and stop bothering them. Those are people, especially if it's your parents, who don't want to face a problem. Right? But there is karma. The reason why there's karma is because society doesn't tolerate dickheads. They don't tolerate evil people. And it's for once your folks were right by accident. Because when you see, classic example, Grandma Tilly shouldn't have her license, got the handicap signed, and is from Nebraska. I mean, we're talking levels of stupid you can't even imagine. You think I'm joking? You come out here to South Dakota and watch the Nebraskans literally stop in the middle of the road because I don't know why. There's something in the corn out there. So there's Grandma Tilly. She's from Nebraska. She stops literally in the middle of the road. You have every right to have a visceral, natural reaction to want to ram Grandma Tilly off the road and save the tribe, because she's going to get a stomp by the mastodon if we don't play her. We got to get her out of the tribe. Send her off on the iceberg. I get it. You can't do that because we're not living in Neanderthalic times, and some gentlemen in some blue uniforms with guns will put you into a cage. Stop and think what it's like to be Grandma Tilly. She's mentally impaired, obviously, to a certain level. To think that it's perfectly all right, or she's environmentally, consciously unaware that she shouldn't be stopping on a road. She probably has no money, is at the mercy of her family or the government to get by. Herman's not driving her because she put Herman in an early grave with all of her nagging. She has real no point and purpose and reason to live. And if she can't drive down to the gas station without causing an accident or risking her own life, what's it like for her to do normal everyday functions like get the mail, pay her bills, turn on the television, right? And so Tilly is not malicious or evil, but she's not functional. And don't worry, Tilly suffers every day, being confused, crying, not really knowing what's going on. Where's Herman? You got your vengeance. You don't have to lift a finger. But then there's dickheads and people, would you like another story? The ultimate one. There was a bully in my school. He was a monster. I don't mean personality-wise, though that too, but he was big. And of course, you cocksucking, worthless motherfucking baby boomer teachers who there is a special place in hell for you, would never reel this guy in, never. He'd terrorize younger kids, littler kids. Um, he's just a monster. Well, I looked him up. Guy got killed. I wouldn't say shot or how, but he got killed in a bar fight. He picked on the wrong guy, and that wrong guy either was stronger than him or had a weapon and ended this asshole's life, which is unfortunate because that guy should have suffered a long, miserable life of just being miserable. But my point is, you can't, okay, in school, in K through 12 school, it is perfectly acceptable to assault, beat, terrorize, and bully other kids. The teachers masturbate to it. They film it. They're like, "Oh my God, come on, look at the CCTV. Watch why they're for the bullies. Oh, what did you do to get punched in the face, Mr. Little Kid? What did you do to piss off the big guy who had a bad day and no dad?" So K through 12, these people don't get punched. When they get out into the real world, you're not getting hired. There's these gentlemen in blue uniforms with guns that will probably stop you from doing certain things. And you're already down a path where you get a criminal record. Now you can't work certain places. You're already drastically increased your chances of being forever poor. You immediately, if you are a dick, you immediately deprive yourself of the most important thing in life, and that is the association with other high quality people. You can hang out with a bunch of drug peddlers. You can hang out with a bunch of backstabbing Hughes. You can hang out with with the Beckys and the Cindys at the sorority house, but you're not going to have any good people in your life because you're a bad person, kind of becoming a den of thieves. You're not going to fall in love. And if you fall in lust, you're going to have illegitimate kids. You're not going to be stable. You're going to be arguing. There'll be assault. There will be violence in the household, or it certainly won't be stable. Now, think about that. That guy has it worse than a premature self-deletion. That guy is alive and suffering. So whatever happened to you, whoever is your transgressor, now, I'm not saying just lie around and take it. Absolutely not. Cappy got a gun. Cappy got a gun and scope and been practicing and waits for transgressors in the right legal environment. Just waits. No, that'd be bad. That'd be wrong. And you always should try to extricate yourself from those situations. But if you're pinned, I'm sorry there's 7 dead corpses on my yard. I don't know what happened. Always. They all wait till I'm in the middle of something. I may even have to take it. So these people will get their comeuppance. But when it pertains to the situation you're talking about where a man has his life and family taken away from him, think about that. What kind of woman deprives the father of her children, no matter how much you might have had a disagreement, what kind of a vile, evil person, an ultimately selfish person, deprives you of seeing your kids? Who breaks their vows? Who gets fat? Who doesn't love anymore? And ultimately, as I said before, just like the guy who's a criminal and assaulting people and threatening violence against others will never have a healthy relationship, never have a stable life, so too will a selfish ex-spouse, male or female, doesn't matter. And you can see it. I don't know how. Someone's got to do a study. Somebody, not me, do a study. I would love to see what happens to the settlement money. I don't know a single woman who gets settlement money, throws it wisely into a 401k or an IRA, a retirement fund or a college fund for her kids. And then at the age of 65, oh, I got an adequate retirement. I saved that money. They piss it away. There's several gals I know like 2, 3 settlements and alimony and child support, although you should pay for the children. Where'd the money go? And I think, what is it? The people who win the lottery, like so many of them end up being bankrupt at the end of it. These are bad, incompetent, unethical people. And society does not abide, sometimes takes advantage of unethical people. Because if you get all this money, like, hey, sweetheart, do you need a $2,000 handbag? Oh boy, do I. I'm the milfiest cougar there ever couged. Yeah, I do. I got to show those girls. Even though I'm 38, I'm still acting like it's the 8th grade. These people will not do well. Wait, forget survive. They'll survive. But it's even worse than that. They will not do well. They will be tortured and they will suffer and they will never have good friends and they will never find love, true love. They will never be happy. They'll constantly be trying to figure out how to be happy. They will be miserable. And you could, in many instances, and the majority argue, you could give them all of the money and they still piss it away. In the individual case, we're talking here about some is being paid out to ex-wives. And for those of you who are in this situation, and you're depleted and exhausted and you're thinking about self-deletion, please don't do it. Please watch Terrence Popp's video. Talk to Terrence Popp. He's saved over 500 guys' lives. And I think it's because no one tells you or paints this. Well, no one tells you there's actually a life after this, and it's a damn good one. Like, this is the worst it gets. It might take a year or so, but you'll get over it. But on the other side, if you play your cards right, there's a damn good life. Think about what Pop would have missed out if he left this earth way too early. What we'd miss out on. What he met Blake. He's got a bunch of friends. Everybody loves. He's become more than he would have had he. Well, obviously, if he ended it, but no one knew. Such a galvanizing process forms the mightiest of steel. And it ends up becoming a guy like Pop. You know, I've gone through my trials, and maybe not as much as Pop have. Never been to war. Oh, Cappy's not exactly a low-grade caliber of steel himself. A little more colorful, perhaps. Pop's pretty colorful. Never mind. I'm not more colorful than Pop. No one is. But still a strong blade of steel. And a good life. Damn good life. Better than I thought I was going to have. So, first you need to be told, yeah, not only does it get better, if you do it right, it could get really good, better than you ever thought it was. There's also the argument, well, what else are you going to do? Why don't you just stick around? But then the third argument, which is the first argument, to not seek vengeance, dude, what kind of life? Don't you see the girls crying on TikTok? Don't you see all the washed up spinsters and hanks? I find a man. Do you want to drink their tears a little bit? Don't you see that they're, in the before time, you didn't know. Now we know. These are not going to be happy people. In the end, the children will leave your ex because ultimately she's not being a good mother and deprived if we're playing these stupid games. Right? Sadly, your children may also not grow up correctly either, but that's another issue to talk about. But they're never happy. And as I've said before, I'm very, now we've seen what happened to the baby boomer women. They went that way. I'm real curious to see my generation, obviously, because I was part of it. I was like, what happened to all you girls reading those trashy magazines back in the 80s and no? I'm curious what happened. I don't say right now, I can almost call. It's not like we're in the third inning and it's anybody's game. We're in like the 8th inning, the 7th inning. Certainly when it comes to their youth, it's the 9th inning. And you look at these guys like, wow, you're all divorced, you're all fat, you're all miserable. And you still got 25, 30 years to go. And I'm not saying that vengeance, that's the only thing to live for. It's not, but don't you worry. Karma will get bad people. And someone destroying a family. Now, if you abused them or did something wrong, they had the right. It's your fault. You should feel bad. But if you played it right, and it's, I'm not happy. I want the children and all your money. It's a vile, evil person. Don't care how legal it is, just a vile, evil. And those type of people don't get along well in society. They don't. Oh, fine. They go marry someone else. Oh, surprise, they'll get divorced. And even if they stay married, they're probably not terribly happy. And so for all those reasons, all of them, look, don't you want to see your ex just be me? A lot of people, you shouldn't live to enjoy other people's pain. Bullshit! That's the only show on now, man. And it's great. You get your big old bag of popcorn. You go talk to a therapist. You get through the tough times. Give it at least a year. What do you got? Give it a year. Go out, run, get some good cardio exercise. Go get some hobbies. Get jagged. Do whatever you want, man. See if a year goes by. And then you get that popcorn, buddy, and you just watch. There's no going. Jimmy ain't going to get no gun. You ain't going to go get no revenge. And think about that. Real revenge? Real revenge? Like somebody commits a crime or violates you. The initial thought is, I should end that person's life. No. If you end their life, they're not around to experience pain. They need to be kept alive. And you say, okay, so how do I fuck up their lives? You don't. It's the beauty of God, nature, just them being dickheads. They're going to screw it up themselves. They're going to shoot themselves in the foot. And it's a show you can watch. And they'll keep shooting themselves in the foot. And you can sit there and eat your popcorn. Then you go out. Now that's vengeance. That's enjoying the pain. Absolutely enjoy that. Okay. But you should probably move on to some other productive measures and manners. Right off the bat, though, go to Mexico, get some whores, do some drugs, or maybe drink some booze, whichever one you want, or maybe all three. Go have some fun. I mean, I don't know about divorce court or anything like that, but, let's say the judge, the wife is about to divorce you. Well, go take a lot of money and go have a lot of fun. What's the judge going to do? Go back to Mexico and get the money. Nah, it's gone, Your Honor. Well, where'd it go? The girl's hoo-ha. It was great. You go to contempt of court for that. I love it when judges give stern words. Like, oh, thanks, Your Honor. Don't care. Never happened to me, but I'm just like, nah. But stick around for the show, huh? Go have a blast. Just try and get through the first year. Don't commit no violence. Let these dumb people hang themselves with their own rope and just watch. Just watch. It's better than Casablanca. It's better than Die Hard. It's better than Midnight Run. It's a brilliant, wonderful show, and it lasts forever. You think these girls are going to wake up? Say, gosh, gee, we're really sorry about that. Oh, yeah, I was really self-centered. And everyone told me just to only think of myself. And I'm sorry I ruined our kids' life. Oh, my God, you're right. They're going to go off the cliff. They're going to be bitter and angry. Yeah, I can guarantee it. Do you see them slowing down? Do you see any self-reflection? No. Just put more garlic butter on that popcorn, man. Yeah, you should get your master's. Yeah, get it. Sure, send our kids to the liberal arts school. Yeah, why not? Sure. Nah, they can live with you. Sure. They like you more anyway. You're more popular. And there you go. That's what I recommend. How's that for internet, guys? Oh, now the internet just poops out a little bit. Is it going to die on me now? It's going to die on me now? Let's go to the... No, it came back. All right, let's go to the super chat. Wow, a lot of super chats. 19. Oh, Cappy's back, baby. Look at that. Nonstop Dre, $2. Cappy's internet provider is minimalist. Like, what? Is it bad again? The Yellow Flash, $10. What states out west do you recommend moving to for the purpose of avoiding liberals and transformers? Any red state? Well, this is the short version. Any red, because you paid $10. Any red state, any state that doesn't have an income tax. That being said, I literally wrote a book on that called Reconnaissance Man. So there's other states out east like Tennessee, Florida. So don't just think you have to be west. I will agree the west is the best. But yeah, read through that, and it goes into a lot of detail, especially if you don't have a budget. Like, how do you reconnoiter? How do you explore the United States on a shoestring budget? But yeah, I like Nevada, obviously. I like Utah. I like the non-Seattle part of Washington. I like Idaho. I like Montana. I obviously like South Dakota. I like North Dakota, but it's really boring. I do not like Nebraska. I do not like Nebraska. And F Wyoming. Nonstop Dre, 2 books. Wouldn't the lower testosterone among men be it? Yeah, that's a contributing factor. I just think if you're at that point where it's like, now it's time to become an unredeemable criminal, you just don't have the energy. Like, you're like, "I'm gonna end it." I don't think you have the energy to go do it. I could be wrong. Some people might for those of you who are in such a situation, why didn't you feel that? I know when I was in the deepest and darkest, I didn't have the energy. Oh, when I got a kill list a mile long. The number of bad people need to be taken out of but then I sit and I think, "Wait a minute, I look up these people, they're miserable." I'm like, "Why would I end your suffering? I'm just gonna watch you on the Facebook, everyone. Oh, look, he filed for bankruptcy again. Oh. Man, he had the GI Bill and he still screwed it up." Just watch your recent video on women not liking men. It is so accurate. Men want to be validated so badly. Way to be pragmatic and objective about it. Right. I mean, men would like to be liked by women, of course. Who wouldn't? And men have their sex drive. They like to have sex with women. But in general, most women don't like most men. And you should factor that into any kind of investment or pursuit of women, especially when you're starting to incur costs in terms of time and money. So it's pretty obvious. Go read Myron Gaines' book, Fresh and Fit. Don Juan Plagueis, 0, $10. Cappy, it's been a while. Hope you're well. As we know, 1/3 of men aren't getting any, and in the future, it'll be more. And I keep hearing of these guys will bring back the patriarchy. What do you think? No, here I will go along with Dre. I think their testosterone is too low to do anything about it. I also think they're pretty placated with booze, pot, a sedentary lifestyle, and prawn. Honestly, I don't think they're not, and they're not that brave. Let's admit it. If you're gonna committing violence takes bravery because there's a chance you're gonna bite it. A lot of these guys don't want to die either. So I think we're talking a separate beast, separate group of guys. I think most of if you would see more crime, you would see more crime. I see them just being mollified, lulled into existence and treated with drugs. Plied with drugs. I think they'll be plied with drugs and they will not, no, the only thing that's gonna be bringing back the patriarchy is gonna be like a no-joke war or a collapse of our economy, where producers, there in other words, there is no government to take half the productive labor of producers and redistribute it to the parasite classes. That cannot happen. Otherwise, it's still too safe. Everybody will live. When there is no government, or when there is not enough producers to produce enough food or electricity and society collapses, we will go back to natural law. And we're going to rediscover what our ancestors discovered, 200,000 to 2 million years ago, depending on what you consider a human. And patriarchy will come back. It will. Because we will not have the resources to afford the luxury of like, okay, sweetheart, you go get your doctorate in sociology and you tell all the hardworking labor guys and tradesmen and accountant females how to spend their money and bring about utopia, even though you've never done a damn thing in your life. So it will be ushered in through economics or the lack thereof, not a bunch of incels getting pissed off that they're not getting laid. Michael Manker, $10. You also have to think that if something goes wrong during your rampage, rifle locks up, etc., you could get arrested and face a fate worse than death for the rest of your life in prison. Exactly. Like, you better have an exit. You better be darn like, yeah, yeah, that's a lot of planning, a lot of energy. Dung is fun, $5. The best revenge is time. Cappy and Pop taught me that one. I'll look at the people that wrong me and their lives are horrible and they look nasty. Right? No, Dung, do me a favor, will you, buddy? Why don't you look up, I don't know, the top 10 people that you hated the most in your past, or the people that you tell me, like, give me like a profile, not of each of them, but like an average profile. How many pounds overweight, divorced, criminal record? Give it to me. I guarantee you they're not living good lives. And the people that were good and honest with me, very few of them. Like I know one baker who's already like senior VP. He's an executive and he earned every penny of it. He was a good man. A lot of my security buddy teams, team buddies, they're doing well because these are good, hardworking, honest men. Everyone that treated me like a dick, every asshole out there, they pow, and divorced and fat and. Rasul Kuatov. Okay, so we got a Russian or at least Slavic, and you're in Japan. Interesting. 200 yen. Hey, Cappy, thank you. Hey, Cappy, thank you very much for your work. I got nothing to do. Part of the reason I'm here is because of the dark times I went through. Yeah, you never know where you're going to end up. The dark times of me having to go through college and banking and figure out what the hell is wrong with why is that? Why getting yelled at, borderline fired because I wanted, and then the housing crash came, and I just started doing this to everybody, all the liars, boomers, women, professors, teachers, bankers, did all this. There it is. And people are like, oh my God, HR ladies are lying to us. Everyone was. I'm like, yeah. Here's $10 just because. Okay, beats banking. WizDivision Productions, 10 generous dollars. Came close to being one of those nothing to lose men. I chose revenge via excellence, though. They're outstanding, Wisda. Revenge via excellence. Or just not screwing up. Going postal just proves those who wronged you right. You can't overstate it. Men need something to live for, right? And nowadays, guys, you got to find it. It is not going to be a girl who volunteers to have kids and raise them. It just, that's, you got to find something else to do. I get it. You got to find something else to do, though. Sean H, $5. I got a date tonight. I'm taking a girl to a Mexican restaurant. What would Cappy do? That's fine. If it's a first date, I'd be like ice cream, coffee, drinks. Mexican restaurant is fine. If you like the girl and you've had a rapport established with her a little bit on the internet, like, it's more than just like, hey, let's meet for the first time. Why not salsa dancing? It doesn't have to be the Latino flair. You could go swing dancing or so. Why not take her to a dance class? That's kind of fun. You talk, you're working on a project together. Mexican restaurant is fine, though. I'd go see if there's a dance class somewhere. That's what I would do. What I should have done if I ever to be single again, I'd like, hey, you want to take a dance class? Just act stupid. Yeah, I always want to learn to dance. And then I'm just like this amazing natural. Oh my God, you're really good. I don't know. I'm just kind of like the natural with Robert Redford. It's like, I don't know. It's in my genes. Chris is not here. $5. Our tornado chasing agent in the field who promises me tornadoes in South Dakota next week. Nonstop trade, $2. The only thing worse than hate is indifference. Yes. For the recipient of. If someone receives hate, you still care. If you're indifferent about them, wow, nothing. Hate still is like, oh, there's a salvation. There's a piece of you that might come around. Nope. I ain't got time for hate. Ain't got time. I only have time to improve even more and have an even better life and do this on the internet. Let's be okay. If you go to my Instagram page, you all wonder why I'm doing this. It's part of my motif in me and just saying hi to my friends. It's also for everyone in my past. Like, fuck you. Fuck you. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me now. What few people would even tune into me from my past. How you guys doing? You guys doing all right? All that bullshit? Yeah, how'd that go? Oh, yeah, you fat? Your wife is fat. Your third wife. Oh, half siblings, little kids don't know who the daddy is. Did you go through the divorce court too? Man, you guys were really cool when you wore those really cool clothes that you were told to wear by the corporations in the 80s. Yeah, you guys are real dope, man. I bet you guys are winners. Oh, look at it. Oh, is that a lake in the background? Can you see the lake past my finger? You want to be, here's what it is. This means I won at life. You want to get to that point. By doing what you want and succeeding and achieving excellence, like Wisda said, revenge through excellence. I win, you lose. That's what you want to do. And it's great. It's great. It's hard. Okay, admittedly, podcasting and this bullshit isn't really hard, but the writing of the books and, working late night security and writing and yeah, it was a long path to get here. But then it's like, oh, I didn't have kids I couldn't afford. I wasn't the dipshit who wanted to be popular, buy a fancy car. I am the guy that effectively retired at like 40. Oh. Dung is fun, $5. There are still a few people on my beat on site list, but if they look like trash, I will let them keep on living because their life is suffering. Exactly. You all hate the welfare bums. You all hate the welfare collecting single moms. What is their life like? It's worse than Tilly, who thinks it's okay to stop it in the middle of the street from Nebraska. What's that like? Thinking like it's always somebody else's fault that doesn't share a trait I have. Whether it's sex or race or gender, it's those people's fault, not the fact I majored in dumb crap, committed crime, had kids I couldn't afford. No, it's them. You see any happy welfare people? You see any happy welfare people? See Dumbledore, $5. Cappy, we're all just one I give up away from success. We just don't know which one it is. Yep. Athamel Decua, $2. Vengeance, nah, bro. Busy gaming and caving. Life's good. Yep. You want to talk about a guy who should write a book who went through very hard times. This guy. I don't know if he's literate. He barely, I don't know if Atham's intelligent or not. I don't know. Maybe he got a degree in chemical engineering. I don't know. Westburger 69, $5. Hate to say it, but I've thought about it. In my younger days, I used to exact revenge physically. Nowadays, Uncle Hector don't like being in jail. Well, did you go to jail, Hector? Did you? How'd that work out? Did someone bigger than you punch you back? Willie Bendoza, $5. Kevin O'Leary said it was good that 85 billionaires own a majority of wealth compared to the 3.5 billion people as a good thing. Compared to the how is capitalism? 3.5 billion. Kevin O'Leary said it was good that 85 billionaires own a majority of wealth compared to the 3.5 billion people. Oh, who also own 85 billion is what you're saying? How is capitalism a good thing? Well, capitalism is a good thing because without the billionaires, you wouldn't have no $85 billion or okay, 85 billion. That's like assuming they have 1 billion each. Without these 85 billionaires, who obviously, Jeff Bezos, you wouldn't have nothing. The vast majority of people without the welfare state, the vast majority of people are just basic subsistence living. That's how economically productive they are. You are lucky to have the industrialists, the captains of industry, the robber barons, the Jeff Bezoses. You're lucky you wouldn't have electricity. Stop worrying about how much money other people have and go get your own. And capitalism is not good or bad. It's human nature. People want to have the majority of the fruits of their labor. Well, they want to have it all. But if we're going to form society, we're going to have a government. And we have to pay taxes to fund that government, have rules, roads, laws, regulation, things like that. All right. The second you start saying, hey, you know what? We need to take more of other people's money away just to give it to people who don't want to work, which is socialism, which would be the only other economic system out there. And I don't know how many more instances we need to go through, how many more experiments we have to go through, but that is much worse than capitalism. Not for corruption, not for nepotism, not for cronyism. I am for keeping taxes low and letting people keep the majority of their labor. That's it. Some are going to be super smart. Some are going to be really lucky. Some are going to make billions of dollars because they did a thing. That doesn't hurt me. If anything, it helps. Do you remember Bill Gates? You may not like him. He made it so we don't have to learn DOS. That's pretty impressive. You going to hate him, or did he make your life better? He made your life better. Capital, it's not good or bad. It is. It's human nature. And you could build an economic system based on that, or you could build it on like, well, I just hope people work. I really want to just be a liberal white girl and give everybody else's money and be popular. What do you mean there's no food? Don Zero. We'll just call you Don Zero because it sounds cool. Get those likes and enjoy their pain. Laughing out loud. Yep. Lahone Campbell, $5. Chris Williamson's theory on sedation of men via prawn video games, etc. applies. Otherwise, the incels would have burned society to the ground by now. I also think humans are innately lazy. I just think as long as you give them a stimmy check, they're not gonna rebel. I mean, yeah, they want girls, but now what'd be interesting is let's say for some way we were able to remove porn from society. Wonder what would happen then. I really do because they're saying the raisin rate ever since porn came along, internet porn has tanked, despite what feminists say. Because we all know raisoning girls is our is we all do it, right? That's our weekend hobby, right? It was, oh, it's time to start raisoning the women. How many you got today, Jim? Oh, 17. Whoa, you're a busy man raisoning all the time. Wiz Division Productions, $5 again. Dark Stoicism, baby. Let him stop. There you go. There you go. Cartman from South Park said it best in the Tenor Chili episode. The tears of unfathomable sadness. Yummy. Exactly. Let their tears feed you. Paul Wet X, 10 British pounds. Waiting for my green card. Need to pick between Dallas and Phoenix. Which one would you pick and why, Cap? Ooh, that's tough. That's tough. If I have, okay, they're going to be blazing hot in summer no matter what, but Phoenix is going to be really hot. So I'm still going to go Phoenix because there's mountains. There's so much hiking. And if push comes to shove, you can drive basically a hour and a half, 2 hours north in any direction, and you'll go up in elevation that it's cooler, like Flagstaff or Jerome, or it's called Prescott. And people know, no, it's Prescott. The people in Prescott call it Prescott. I'm like, oh, I thought it was Prescott or Prescott, and they're like, no, it's Prescott. So now I call it Prescott, just to piss people off. I'm going to go to Prescott. Well, it's before or after Scott and regular Scott. It's pre-Scott. There should be Scott, then there should be post-Scott. Yeah, and Phoenix, I love Dallas. Look, either places, I enjoy both towns. It's just I love the hiking more, man. Phoenix has got a ton of great hiking. 9 months out of the year, beautiful weather. Beautiful. Golfing, beautiful. Motorcycle, oh, you're near the Grand Canyon. You got, oh, yeah. Dallas, you got to drive across the rest of Texas and then New Mexico to start getting to seeing things that are pretty. So I would pick Phoenix, but just be prepared. Like, come up with a plan to stay cool. Come up with a plan. Maham in motion, 20 generous dollars. Lady here. My vengeance is me getting married next year before my sister, 50 single and 2 sons. After she kicked me out during COVID because I was toxic. Goes to show you shouldn't be an ass to men for no reason. So wait, my vengeance is me getting married next year before my sister. She's 50 and single. Or you're 50 and single. It's kind of over by that time, isn't it? Like fifth. I mean, I know you still have your life. You want to fall in love, but I mean, generally speaking, do you care? Goes to show you shouldn't be an ass to men for no reason. Or you, oh, I see what you're saying. So your sister's older. You must be significantly younger than I presume. Yeah, I don't know why you'd be an ass to anyone for no reason. But again, most girls don't like most men. So what did you do? Let me ask. Were you just hotter? Did you just stay young and in shape and you treated the guy nice? Oh my God, look, she got married. She found a husband. Holy cow. Scooby-Doo mystery. Hat and Clogs, 43.34, $2. Yep, Cappy, most people are sedated. Yeah, I'd imagine. Jackdaws, $10. My revenge on parent society, military leadership, and exes is to take my disability pay and live a long, selfish life of personal development and fun. There you go. Collapse, let's go. No collapse, oh well. Do you travel like overseas? You sound like you would enjoy going overseas. I too would like to go overseas. Hand clog, $5. Oh yeah, Cappy's lottery is 1.5 billion. Help me when I win. My lottery? What lottery do I got? If I had a 1.5 billion, Cappy would just disappear one day. You'd never see him again. There'd be some long bearded hippie looking fellow on a beach though in Thailand. Rasul Kuatov again, 200 yen. Does positive karma exist? Do good and work? No. And for this reason only, in the West anyway. It might be different in Japan or Russia. in the West, most people are bad. I wouldn't go so far to call evil. Some certainly are evil, but most people are bad. And when you do good things, the phrase "no good deed goes unpunished," bad people will take advantage of you. Certainly not thank you. I believe in improving oneself and working hard for your own benefit, not because it will beget some kind of benefit or preferential treatment or favors from people in the future. You work hard because it's in your own self-interest. So I go to the gym. Why? Because I want to keep having sex with my girlfriend. I don't want her thinking like, "Oh, he's not physically attractive." She's like, "No, I don't feel like sex tonight." I go to the gym to stay in physical shape. I go hiking because I really enjoy it, but also to stay in physical shape. I save my money. I don't spend a lot of money because I like to have financial stability. I invest. I diversify. I do all these boring chores. I get dental work. I got my colonoscopy coming up. Do I want to do it? No, but I do it so that I live longer and enjoy my life. I think I gave up long ago. Like, well, if I do really well, I dated girls where I was the nice guy. I did really well. Where does that get you? Nowhere. Girls, I said, shut up. Or I said, you're going to knock that off. Or I held the line. I didn't treat them poorly. I just disciplined them or held the line. They all of a sudden really treated me well. And guys, you don't treat guys nice. We at least got a code. Like, I don't say nice things about Vince. I question the size of his penis all the time. Even if he has one, we don't know. And he does the same. That's about the best guys can do. But you never do a guy. I mean, like, guys got to move or, go, yeah, you help him out. But you don't do it out of like expectation. But yeah, work hard. And I know about do good, but I do agree with work hard. Society doesn't deserve good. Oh God, don't donate to charity. Don't you dare donate a penny or a second of your life to charity. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Thomas V, $10. Crappy. What are your thoughts on when you see attractive women dating fat, wimpy looking guys? I don't see it that much. Who just happen to be tall. Not ashamed to say that it infuriates me since I max rep 2 plates. I I don't know. I don't see it. If I saw a good-looking gal with a skinny fat tall guy, I don't know. I guess it doesn't bother me. It is what it is. I saw this over 10 years ago. Very common in Wyoming. You'd see a jacked, obviously manual labor guy, probably working in the mines, who's in great shape, a good-looking man, makes pretty good money too with just a fat sow of a woman because that's all they have in Wyoming is fat sow of women. It's on the menu. Would you like fat sow of woman? Why, we have a plenty. We have like your Casper variety. We have your Gillette variety. We have your middle of nowhere meth lab variety. She comes without teeth. And y'all think I'm joking, go to Wyoming. So I was just like, man, that the selection is so bad here that good-looking guy who makes pretty good money is gonna settle for that fat piece of shit. But I don't know, it didn't make me I don't know, I gave up caring what women, especially good-looking ones, like, most of the time, they wouldn't give me the time of day unless I was doing something like teaching or being a dancer or something that was displaying accomplishments or alpha or whatever you wanna call it. But out in public, I mean, just of course, I dress like this, but generally, sit down, everybody. You ready? A 5'9" guy, no matter how in good a shape, wearing Goodwill clothes doesn't exactly draw the attention of a lot of women. Most women don't give me the time of day. I don't even see me. I'm just background. So I guess I never really. I'll pay attention. If I see any hot women with tall, wimpy looking guys, I'll let you know. Dung is fun. $5 Cappy. All those people that wrong me, I see them on the internet. Their lives are hard. They're overweight, broke, and they look 20 years older. God bless America, they do. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? Why would you end it early? Why would you turn off the television? Keep watching. See what other. I love the delusion, particularly of the ladies. Like, I love it where they double down. Like, this path has proven to you, you make bad decisions. Maybe you ought to work hard and sacrifice and give up some things. No. I'm going to get married a third time. I'm going to buy another pair of $2,000 shoes. That'll change this. The 13th pair of $2,000 shoes didn't make my life happy, but the 14th pair will. Anthony DeAngelis, $2. He has nothing to say. Thank you, Anthony. Eric Burns Marsh, $2. Nice guys finished last. Leo Durocher. It's true. And Nick Crocodilis, €2. Read my private message for some reason. Super chat censors it. Did you send me a private message? I don't got a private message. Email it to me, Nick. Did you email it to me? I don't see no email here. Look, you're asking me how to do private messages. I'm surprised I got my internet working. Anyway, so a couple resources for those of you. Let's close this out here. There we go. Please consider histherapist.com, Dr. Maloney. He may be booked. It took him a year to get booked. That was it. He's like, I got to turn away clients, so he might be open. If he's not available, please consider Paul Benjamin at apexmindset.net. I mean, if you're thinking of ending it, I guess any therapist is better than nothing at all, but I'd strongly recommend you get a real and a man and a masculine therapist. I'm sorry, I don't it's not I don't trust, not I even know something like Dr. Helen Smith would be someone to talk to, but she's booked too. So I guess I take that back. But generally, you're going to want to talk to a pissed off, grizzled Vietnam veteran. Hey, speaking of pissed off veterans, talk to Pop. Tune into Pop, and maybe you don't have the money to afford a super chat, but please go just tune into his show. Binge on that. Tell me if you're not laughing. Look, I don't care how bad it is. You're going to laugh tuning into Pop. You'll be in a better mood. It'll give you a little bit of hope. And tell him I sent you, by the way. And that's about it. And then if you're looking for like other stuff to do, get some exercise, go out, go down to Mexico, get some whores, do some drugs, or Thailand, whatever. I don't care, wherever you want to go. And then, post some pictures. And that's about it. Any other questions, go to asshole.consulting.com. And then, I don't know. I guess Bachelor Pad Economics, if you want to start working on your finances, you got to get it on Amazon. That's about it. We'll see you guys later. Toodles.